Hello and welcome to the show. You're watching Girls Trip with LaVerne and Steffanie. I'm Steffanie, here going solo today. LaVerne is handling some other business, but the show must go on. So we want to welcome to the show our guest, Dr. Blake Gordon. Welcome to the show, Dr. Blake.
Hello, Stephanie, and everybody else out there. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming back. Now, you're Dr. Blake, and I know you because I met you at the acupuncturist office. You are a naturopathic doctor and a licensed acupuncturist. Mm-hmm. And today, though, we're going to talk about another service that you provide to your patients, which is you do blood tests for food allergies. And we talked about...
Well, hold on, let me correct you. It's not checking for food allergy, it's looking for food intolerance. There's a difference to it, and I just want to clarify that. Yeah. But we can get into it more, but it's a specific, the one that I do is a specific type of naturopathic evaluation for food intolerances, and it's looking to see if your body can digest or not digest certain foods properly. And so allergies are looking at an immune response to the body, meaning like the IgGs, antibody reactions, those type of things are happening. And these are what people commonly get when they go to the allergist and they do the skin pricks and things like that. This is completely different from those.
Okay, well, thanks for clearing that up because so there's a difference between having an allergy and having an intolerance.
Yes. Most people, when they think about testing, digestive testing and stuff, or having digestive issues, you have sensitivity, which is you're not having an immune reaction. You just might eat something and you don't feel good from it, right? So a lot of people can have like a gluten sensitivity or a fruit sensitivity or dairy sensitivity or something like that. Then you have allergy, which means when you eat this food, then now your body actually has a physical reaction to it, meaning that there is an immune reaction that's happening to the body. And you can actually have blood tests and other markers to see what is it, like the IgGs. This is like the anaphylaxis reaction, especially like with kids or people like that eat peanuts and things like that. They have anaphylaxis. They can, meaning their throat can swell, or shellfish is a common one too. Their throat can swell, their lips can swollen, they have a hard time breathing. It's like more of an emergency reaction. That's an IgE reaction. But then you also have other antibodies called like IgG. These, you don't get the immediate reaction. You get the more delayed reaction, but this can be like gas and bloating. This can be skin issues. You can have numerous other things that go on from an allergic reaction. And then you have what we're looking at today, what the evaluations you did is looking at intolerances, meaning that this is looking at food groups and seeing what enzymes basically you do not have to digest certain food groups. And so in my experience, my clinical experience, what I've been seeing with this is that a lot of people have a lot of sensitivities. They have a lot of allergies. And that can be grass, mold, in addition to foods and things like that when I say allergies and things like that. But the main reason they're having these issues is because they have an underlying intolerance, a food intolerance, whether it's egg, potato, fruit, something like that. And by eliminating the intolerance, because their body cannot digest it properly, and now that food is actually acting like a poison to the body. Now, by eliminating that intolerance, the body can now begin to heal itself, and the person is less sensitive to the food sensitivities as well as to the allergies. And sometimes the allergies can even resolve over time because the body is actually healing.
Wow, that's an eye opener. That you would say it's kind of like you're slowly poisoning yourself because we consume so many things and we think poison myself. Oh, that must be, drugs and alcohol or those things that we commonly think would be poisoning us when really it could be something that's naturally grown that's still not, our body has a natural. And that was one of the questions that, because along with my results, you also included common questions that people have, like, why am I allergic? So or why do I have an intolerance?
Yeah.
So, as a matter of fact, so we're about to go to my intolerances, but as a matter of fact, right before I opened your email, I had gone to this store. One of the things that I used to eat when I was younger at home was French fries. Of course, my mother had this machine and it would cube the fries. And so I was like, oh, let me go to this kitchen store and get this thing. And I'm staying away from white potatoes. So I've been eating sweet potatoes and I do sweet potato fries. So I just bought this thing and I was gonna go home, and now my sweet potato fries gonna be so perfect and everything. So then I opened up the email, and the first thing is, you're allergic. So I'm gonna try to put all of us up here together. Let's see how this is going to work. Oh, well, let's just go to this. The first thing says I'm allergic to all potatoes.
You're intolerant to potatoes. Yes.
I'm
The food group
intolerant to
potato.
all potatoes. So let
Mhm.
me see if I can get all of us. I'm trying to see how I can get all of us in here at the same time, and it's not working right this second. So
That's okay.
that is, so it talked about, because there are different types of potatoes. So I thought, okay, maybe if I can focus on another type of, and that's like, no, not
No.
onion potatoes.
No.
So that's eye-opening because I've been eating potatoes all my life. There we
Mhm.
go. And so
And
you
you bring up a great point, because people are always like, well, what should I eat? Things like that. And well, I eat a lot of fruit. I eat a lot of, I'm vegan, I'm this, I'm that. And I'm like, well, I don't know technically until I do this evaluation on you, because you could be eating so-called healthy foods and it's not healthy for you. And for example, yeah, potatoes are great food. Depending on the person, they're not great for you. It's not something that you need in your diet. Actually, it acts like poison to your body. While like on my hand, eggs are amazing food, but not for me. They're basically poison to my body because my body cannot digest them and break them down properly. And so before we get into your thing, let me just say this as well. With people think about energy uses and things throughout the body. Well, digestion, if you're eating a healthy diet, the right diet for you, the right foods, instead of saying diet, the right foods for you, you're eating, that consumes about 60% of your energy to digest the right foods for you. 30% of your energy goes to brain health and brain function, and only 10% goes to muscle health, right? So a lot of times when people are having all these issues, especially fatigue and things like that, it's generally a dietary issue. It's the foods that they're eating, because they're eating things that their body cannot digest properly. So now instead of it taking 60% of the energy to digest it, it can take 65, 70, or even 80, which is taken away from brain function, which is taken away from muscle function. So by eliminating your food intolerances and things that are impacting your digestion, now your body has energy to focus on other ways of healing, whether it's the arthritis, the cancer, like going in and really taking care of the things that it's supposed to. But when you're eating foods that are poisoning your body, which are your food intolerances, now it has to shift all of that energy to take care of that.
wow. Okay, so now I'm going to try to bring this
Potato,
back.
yes.
Okay, so now I scrolled down a little. So
Okay.
I should stay away from all potatoes, but then what you do give, which I think is great, are the alternatives that
And
I could
Yeah, and this is just
eat.
a few of the alternatives. I mean, you can list it, but yeah, I've been doing this for a while, and a lot of times I get the question, "Oh my gosh, if I can't do this, what can I do?" And that's the thing, I started adding to this because my recommendation things is always growing, because I'm always getting different questions. But yeah, you can, like you said, instead of doing your sweet potato fries, which I love me some sweet potato fries too, and I hope you donated got your refund or donated your potato thing to somebody else.
No, you know what I did? Because
What?
I had one sweet potato left at the house. So I said, okay, I'm gonna finish this one sweet potato. But
Uh-huh.
I now make zucchini fries.
Oh,
Hello.
nice. That's okay. I didn't think about it. No, that's smart. I like that. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, but that's the thing. There are alternatives to things, and that's what I tell people. No matter what your food intolerance is, more than likely you're gonna be able to find something that's different to substitute it. And you have to realize too, with even our food market, that's what born all of these different types of foods and things out there, because people realized they either had sensitivities or allergies or intolerance, so they needed an alternative to it. And so they looked and found other ways to their favorite milk or their favorite tortillas or whatever it is, and now they found alternatives.
Yeah, so before I get too far in, I wanted to acknowledge that we have some new followers. So we want you to like, share, and subscribe to the video. And we'll also give Dr. Blake's contact information in case you want her to conduct a food intolerance
Evaluation.
What's it called?
You said it, the food intolerance evaluation.
Food intolerance evaluation on you. But we have new followers: D. Marie 11365, Glenn Keller, and Carlos Moreno. Thanks for joining us. And so the second of my most intolerant food intake, because this was one that we brought up, which is how we probably got on the subject when I was like, we need to eat more fruits and vegetables. You're like, not everybody needs to eat all fruits and vegetables, because that's one of the things, that that's general knowledge out here, is that fruits and vegetables are the best thing for us, but not everything for everybody. And then mine said I should not combine fruit with sugar. Fruit got sugar in it. So I'm like, so that's me. I can't eat no more fruit.
No. So you got to keep reading further with it. And what it says is that you should keep fruit and sugar separately. And what's nice about this is that it breaks down what's considered fruit. So for example, you have fruit listed there, and those are the things that basically with seeds: apples, pears, berries, lemons, things that you commonly think about as fruit. Olive oil, because of the tree, the way that it's grown, coconut, things like that. Okay. Now, yes, fruit does have sugar, but that's a different type of sugar according to this evaluation. If you scroll down a little bit past that to the bottom of page 4, it then has what's listed considered sugar according to this evaluation. So like white sugar, brown sugar, molasses, things like that, or evaporated cane juice. That's a common one people see. So what you can't do is that you don't want to do like apples, like an apple pie. Just think about it. Traditional apple pie is made with apples. They use cane syrup. They use brown sugar, things like that. That's not ideal. Your body's going to have a hard time digesting that, and it's going to act like poison. However, if you made an apple pie with apple and honey, because if you go below that, these are the ones that you can be used instead of sugar: agave, honey, pure maple syrup, coconut palm sugar. Those type of things can be used instead of what's considered sugar according to this valuation.
Okay, so I need to just do more honey, or start doing honey instead of sugar, which I do with my tea. I put honey in it.
Good.
And okay, coconut palm sugar. So stay away from, because I have a habit of putting lemons in my water. I don't, it's like, okay, now what do? I call myself being so good
What's wrong with lemon and water? Who said you can't do that?
Because up top
it said what? Yeah, go back to it.
It said, where did it say?
You go up.
Fruits there include lemon right there. It said
okay. Now go to number 2 and read to me what that says.
Number 2, you also have a combination intolerance. Therefore, you should avoid the combination of fruit with sugar. So putting fruit and sugar in, like you just said, an apple pie. Okay, so I could do these, but don't add more sugar in.
Don't add what's considered sugar according to this valuation. So I know some people who put sugar on their fruit, on their strawberries, dip it in sugar, things like that. No, that's not good. That's not what you want to do.
So chocolate covered strawberries, I shouldn't do that.
Depends on what's all in the chocolate, but yeah. Because sometimes depending on the type of chocolate, because some chocolate out there, they make it with coconut sugar versus organic cane sugar,
Right. And so that's why when we get information, we should go over it with our doctor so that we can ask questions and make sure we understand what's being explained. Because
Yeah.
I clearly read that as, I can't do lemons no more in my water.
Yes. No, you looked at, and I get this very frequently, and it's also talked about it on the frequently asked question list where it says you have a combination intolerance, so you can do one or you can do the other within that time period. So what I like with people with fruit and sugar, and I have a fruit and sugar combination intolerance as well. I do my best to avoid the sugars. Like I still eat fruit. Yeah, fruit is fine, but I do my best to avoid the sugars, the organic cane syrup and cane juices and things like that that's considered sugar according to this. Because then my body is like, no, we can't. It doesn't like that.
Okay, all right. So I'm clarified now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're gonna scroll down some more
Oh,
and
hold on. Go back up some to page. Okay, page 4, middle of page 4. Okay, right there. The following are not classified as fruit and are okay to consume anytime. So, you see they're all melons, honeydew, cantaloupe, muskmelons, watermelon, pineapples, tomatoes, and rhubarb. Those, excuse me, according to this evaluation, are not considered as fruit.
oops, sorry.
That's all right.
Okay.
Are not considered as fruit. So God forbid you wanted to add some cane sugar to your pineapples or to your honeydew or cantaloupe. That, I mean, it's not ideal, but it's not a fruit and sugar. It's not considered a fruit and sugar combination intolerance. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And
Now,
so, yeah,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
No, because I'm typing in your website. So go ahead and
Keep talking.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I was just gonna say that this evaluation, the main thing is to really, I always tell people to start out, because initially it can be a little overwhelming. Start with your primary intolerance first. Like in your case, it's potato. So really focus on that and eliminating to avoiding the potato as much as possible. And just like you said, starting with the big potato. When I say the crude potato, like sweet potatoes, like you make a sweet potato fries or you making mashed potatoes and something. You don't want to do just the crude form of potato. Start there. Then start reading your ingredient labels to see if there's any potato, tapioca, arrowroot, those things in the foods that you're eating. And once you get a good grip on that, which tend to take about 4 weeks or so like that, when you get really good at that and you'll understand how your body responds and things like that, then I say really start focus on the combination intolerance. So then focus on definitely avoiding fruit and sugar, which actually is in a lot of different foods, condiments, salads, and things like that. There are a lot of healthier versions out there now, but if you're just getting regular, whether it's ketchup, mustard, it's so mayonnaise, they put sugar in everything nowadays. So you have to be very selective. But once you start learning about it, you'll get the hang of it, and then it won't be so hard.
So then it's basically and I was saying that what I have started to do, which helped me to lose 30 pounds, was I only eat when I'm hungry, and it turns out to be just about one meal a day. I might do some little nuts and stuff every now and then, but so I was like, well, Steffanie, at least you only eat one meal a day, but it turns out that one meal was poisoning me. So I need to, like you said, because I would do sweet potatoes, but I'm totally done. I had that last sweet potato. I'm finished with that, so I do the zucchini fries. I've started to do more cauliflower.
Nice.
And so I'm on the right track, and that just goes to, we can always get better at what we're doing. Don't ever think that you have arrived. You can always get a little step better. And because as we get older, a lot of people might ask, how is this happening? As you get older, your body does change, and it reacts differently to different things. So you do want to, how often should somebody do an evaluation on things like this?
What's awesome about this one is that you only need to do it once. once in your lifetime, because this is who you are. This is what you were born with. Like, soon as a baby comes out, if we check their blood sample to see what they're intolerant to, we'll know. We'll know then, and then that's for the rest of their life. Like, that doesn't
Hmm.
change. That's just more of a genetic. This is who you are. Um, so it's really cool with a lot of my mentors who have been doing this for years, years and years, and they've had kids and everything, and they basically done it from when they were babies. And like, their health is the kids' health is so much healthier, so much better than other kids and stuff that I know, as well as with their patients who, with their babies, they have started it from the beginning, making sure that the kids does not have that food intolerance, and their health is just so much healthier. And that doesn't mean you don't mess up, and I mean, and as you saw in the notes that I put, the frequently asked question list, is that there are times that you will willingly eat something. You'll eat something on purpose. You might eat some potatoes. You just be like, screw it, I want to eat potatoes today. And then there might be times when you accidentally eat something that has potato in it, or that has a fruit and sugar combination. And I always tell people, it's definitely your prerogative. You can do with it what you want. These are your results. But you just want to make sure you understand how your body responds to things, because everybody responds to things differently. Some people can get headaches immediately, can get stomach cramps, can get skin issues, can get breakouts, can get fatigue. I mean, everybody varies. I always recommend for people, if they can, take some time to eliminate the things from their diet. And, like you said, you had a sweet potato and you was like, I'm just going to eat it. I completely understand, because this is not something you have to start overnight. And so take some time, prepare yourself. Might take a week or two, and then really focus on your primary intolerance for like 4 to 6 weeks hardcore, where you're eliminating potato from your diet. Then, if you don't believe what it says, I recommend you eat a potato or something, eat a piece of it, and see how you respond, because I've had so many patients where they didn't believe it initially, but they did it. And then they had the food later, and they was like, oh my gosh, I felt it immediately. I felt terrible. And they just told me the symptoms they have. So now every time they have those symptoms, they relate it back to something that they can usually relate it to they ate something, instead of taking the guesswork out of it and being like, well, I don't know why I'm feeling like this. They like, oh no, I had something that had potato in it. I know that feeling.
Yeah, so that's what I plan to do next, is because I'm um totally done with potatoes. And so, so this adds a new appreciation to people who go to restaurants, and you're like, why do they ask, well, do you have this and that? And is it salt? And is it this? And is it vinegar? And what's it made of? You like, people, y'all just need to stay in the house if y'all got all
Yeah.
these problems with what y'all eating. But I understand the questions. But at
Yeah.
some point, you're like, I don't want to, be questioning the heck out of people and then wondering what they're doing in the back because I asked so many questions. So I'm just going to stay home, and, I might go out every now and then, but I'm one of those people. I don't really like to spend a whole bunch of money eating a whole bunch of stuff so I
Yeah.
mostly eat at home anyway, but I do understand. And so one of the things that you said, because I know we're on a rundown clock, but it said eat most of your food earlier in the day and small meals. So with me having made when something works for me, I try to go with it. And although like I said, I'm willing to change, I just eat one meal a day most of the time, and
Mm-hmm.
that's in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
So, really depends on people's schedule, because what I've learned is people eat too fast because they don't have time, and they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to keep up with this. Let me eat for breakfast, let me eat for lunch, let me eat for dinner, when really they're just trying to stay on a schedule and they're really not hungry. And so I'm trying to stay true to am I hungry, which turns out to be in the evening. What would be your suggestion about trying to balance all that?
I think that's fine. If that's what your body needs, then yeah, this is very individualized. That portion right there, number 4, is very generic, because like you said, most people are eating 3 times a day. However, there are people like yourself that only eat once a day. A lot of times I tend to eat only twice a day. So yeah, everybody's different. And so this is just a generic recommendation For especially those who are eating 3 times a day, multiple times a day, you definitely want to eat most of your food early in the day. And if you think about it, that's when you're most active, you're up, you're about, you need the energy, you need the fuel. However, the later you get at night, the more still you get, and you're usually chilling and get ready to go to bed. And so you don't want a lot of food on your stomach at night, as most people know, because in addition to you just not feeling well, that's when your liver, which plays a liver and gallbladder, which play a huge role in digestion, they tend to work the hardest or function the best from like 11 p.m. to like 3 a.m. And so if you're eating heavy meals, a lot of fatty processed foods and things like that, and a lot of heavy meals at night, and I would say like after 7 or 8, just depending on what time you're going to bed, then that causes a lot of stress on the digestive tract. And so that's why I don't recommend eating too late at night, as well as eating too heavy at night.
Right. I agree. I try to stay up at least 4 hours. I'm cognizant of the fact that, okay, you just ate a couple of hours ago and now you're going to try to go to bed. So I try to stay up and because of that. So at the end of the evaluation, the written evaluation, you give a sample menu, which I think helps people. So you kind of, help people along. You shocked us with what we don't eat that, don't do this. And then you're like, but here's what you can do. And here's a sample. So that was good. That's good.
And then there's also a resource list at the bottom too, if you keep scrolling, which has a lot of good information as well. A lot of the websites that I like, right there. A lot of the websites that I like the Weston A. Price Foundation Dietary Guidelines. If you click on that link, it'll take you to it. But that's one of the things that I love for my clients and things to follow, because I'm always getting questions about what should I eat? What kind of meat should I eat? Should I eat salt? Should I do this? Should I do that? And this is a great tool for just helping to guide you even about how to cook certain foods, like how grains need to be fermented and processed, while meats need to be like rare, medium rare, those type of things. So they go in a lot of good detail about that information. And I just tell people to follow that as best as you can and just adapt it according to your Carol food intolerance results. So in your case, I'm just trying to think, I think they recommend potatoes is fine. But like a lot of times they recommend a lot of eggs and a lot of dairy, those type of things, raw dairy. And I can't do eggs, so I don't do eggs from there, but I do the raw dairy and things like that. So that's why I tell people to adapt it according to your Carol food intolerance results, as well as the blood type diet. I have had a lot of people who had really good success with that, as well as myself. I think that's the blood type diet is a great way to introduce you into recognizing what food does to your body. A lot of people do not understand that food is causing them problems, whether it's reflux, heartburn, stomach pains, those type of issues. And I love getting people started on the blood type diet because they start to recognize, like, oh, that's not a normal symptom. It's likely due to something I'm eating, and they can start to recognize that, and then they can even start to adapt that diet more specific to them. So it's a great starter diet for people, I believe.
Okay, and then that explains why you were asking me about my blood type, and I need to try to figure that out. I mean, it shouldn't be hard. I just, okay, that explains that. So many, so many things.
I will say, if you go back up to page, I keep going back on dang it, page 6. This is something else that comes up a lot, right? Scroll down to where it says number 5. Yeah, right, number 5, that area. Okay, so this evaluation also looks at cell salts, and this is a common question I get. Oh, table salt. And I'm like, no, it's not salt. It has to do, when I say salt, cell salt, it has more to do about the chemistry of it, the biochemistry of it, okay? This has nothing to do with table salt. But yours is really interesting though. But this is basically, it's going to tell you if you're deficient in one of 12 cell salts, which Dr. Schussler found that the human cells needed in order to function properly. And so they're broken up into 12. Yours is natrium myrrh, which is sodium chloride, which you would think, oh, well, that's salt. No, this is still different. This is basically a homeopathic dilution. And what it is that it helps your body to absorb sodium chloride that you're intaking from food. This is not giving you extra sodium chloride in the body, but it's helping your body to absorb it properly from the food that you eat. And then it helps distribute it to where it's supposed to go properly in the body. So another way of
Hmm.
looking at that is like if you're building a house on an island, you got to get supplies out to the island, right? So you want to build a bridge or so. And so now you build a bridge. Now you're getting the house built and you coming down to where you got to make sure everything's going to where it's supposed to go. So like the refrigerator is ending up in the kitchen, the beds are ending up in the bedroom instead of the beds ending up in the living room and in the kitchen, right? So that's
Hmm.
what the cell salts are doing when it comes to those specific minerals. They're making sure that you're absorbing it from the food properly and that it's going to where it's supposed to go in the body properly. So, for example, with yours, natural myrrh, and I just give examples, homeopathic examples of how that cell salt has been used traditionally. It's really good if people. This one has an affinity for what is okay. I'm just trying to think about it. Nat myrrh. That's what I call it. Nat myrrh. Nat myrrh is really good for fluids in and out of the cell. It's one of our water balances. So if somebody has it helps if they're too dry. It helps them to like distribute water properly throughout the body. It's also really good if they have chronic runny nose. If their nose is running, allergies, things like this can be really good for that. Fluid retention, I see it great for like cracked lips. And if you ever get those bumps right around your hairline, that's been great for that. People who don't like the sun. What else is it good for? Headaches, or if you crave salt as well, this is really good too. And what I love about the cell salts is they're easy to use. They're these little pellets that you just dump into the lid. Don't try to dump them into your hand because they fall and drop, and so they really little. But you dump them into the lid, depending on
Hmm.
which brand, 1 to 4, whichever brand that you use, and then you just dump them in your mouth. And if you need it, they taste sweet, which is really cool. They'll taste sweet, and then as you start to balance out with that specific mineral, they'll start to taste chalky or salty over time. And it's a big difference. You can definitely tell. And so, but it can take people months before they get to that point. So this is really cool. And this just helps the healing process of your body even more. But I just love it. It's so simple, so easy. And initially, yeah, it tastes really sweet. The kiddos love it. You just tell them it's like a little candy. And then eventually over time, they'll start to taste chalky and salty. You'll be like, I don't think I need this. Like, yeah, you don't need it anymore, or for that time period.
So you're saying that I need to take these Natmers?
Mm-hmm. Nat
Huh.
Murray.
So
This is
where do I get that?
So I can send you a link via Full Script, and you can order it from my Full Script account, or you can always Google it and Amazon it. Even though I'm not a big fan of Amazon or whatever, but you can definitely look at other online health stores. But I can send you a Full Script link if you like, and I put it in your cart, and you just order it from there.
Yeah, do that. So, because although I read everything, I kind of got shocked at the potatoes and the fruit. I'm like, wait a minute, no more potatoes and fruit. But so I did scroll down, but I'm glad we're going over this because I, didn't fully absorb and I want, once I make a decision on something, I like you said, I try to. So I was like, okay, no more potatoes. So I've jumped right in with the zucchini fries and the
Nice.
cauliflower. So I'm, working my way through that. But yes, if I could get that more information. And I did put in here if you want Dr. Blake to evaluate your food intolerances, they can contact you at roadmapstohealth.com.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to be in Atlanta where she is. She can do it long distance.
Right. So
And
I send you a kit. Yep. I send you. We talk on the phone. I do offer 15-minute complimentary consultation where I go over more information about the Carol Food Intolerance Evaluation. We talk. I answer questions that you have, and I also email you information about it as well. And then if this is something you want to proceed with, we talk a little bit. We do another follow-up phone conversation. We talk about it more, go into the specifics about it, talk about the evaluation kit, which is just need a little finger prick of blood, not a little, but like a nickel size amount of blood. I want to make sure you do that right, because otherwise I have to resend it to you and things if we don't get enough. But it's not a large amount. I mail that to you. You mail that back to me. And then it take about 3 to 4 weeks to get the results. And then once the results are available, I get that information to you, and then we set up a follow-up appointment if that's something you want to clarify any questions that you have specifically about the evaluation. And like Steffanie is showing you all today, you get like a 9-10 page report, as well as frequently asked question list, which is about 14-15 questions long. So yeah, you get some good information. And it's the cost of it right now is $275. I can't say it's going to be that forever, but right now it's $275 for all of that.
And we spend money doing so many other frivolous things. So to spend under $300 to learn more about our bodies and how we could live have a better digestive system and function better that's something that we should be interested in doing. So,
and you only have to do it once. Like, this is not a yearly thing, which can happen like with allergy tests and things like that. You can do it several times a year, multiple times, and things like that, and see changes. You only need to do this one once. That's it.
And that's important to notate as well. So I want to thank you for helping me to understand more, and I'm fully going to take advantage of it, and hopefully I can feel the difference and see the difference. I'm always trying to lose weight, so hopefully it'll make me lose some weight.
Well, you know what, Stephanie, I bring up a good thing too. Is like the number one thing that people tell me is that they feel less inflamed once they start avoiding their food intolerances. They tell me they feel less inflamed, and when you're inflamed, you tend to hold on to weight, hold on to water, and so you can lose some weight. I can't say like, oh my gosh, you're going to lose like 10-20 pounds, but that's a frequent thing that I've seen with people is that they say, oh my gosh, I feel less inflamed, I feel less puffy, their face kind of goes down because it's not so inflamed. And I have had people that lose 5 pounds or so just from eliminating the food intolerance. So and the other thing too, which I can send you, I'm gonna add it, I need to update a couple things, but what I recommend as well is doing like a toxicity symptom survey. You can do it online, or you can do it printed out, things like that, but it's basically answering questions and gauging symptoms. So like, okay, gas and bloating, 0 to 3, you would rate it, right? And so I recommend doing that like before you start the food intolerant, like eliminating things. Like, you still early, so you can still do it now. And then redoing it, because you can add up the numbers and see, you can get a score. So say your score is 100 now, right? Okay, and then do it again in another 4 to 6 weeks after you've been eliminating the food, and gauge it there and see again. So maybe it'll go down to 50, 20, something like that. So you can actually have something quantitative that you can see that, oh, this actually changed, because if you try to remember, yeah, that doesn't work. So that's why I recommend for a lot of patients and clients and stuff to do is to do this toxicity quiz, take score, see what it is, and then do it 4 to 6 weeks later and do a comparison, and you can really see like, oh man, yeah, this did change. So
okay, yeah. So I will. It'll be written out. It's like taking a before and after picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. Yeah, we can do that. So please send me that, and sure. We can continue to update and go from there. So thanks again, and hopefully I'm going to repost this on some of our platforms. And hopefully you'll get some people wanting to know more about their makeup, biochemical makeup, and we can help some people.
Yeah. And hey, if you want to redo this again, like a follow up in about 4 to 6 weeks to see how you're doing, that would be interesting to see as well, especially if you do the toxicity symptom survey. You do that as well. That'd be cool to see, because you can see now, and then even discuss it, like what you're experiencing with eliminating potato from your diet and things like that.
Okay, we'll do. I'm so glad though that I had that I had the zucchini, because I've been doing zucchinis. I even bought this thing where you can make zucchini noodles. So I was
Yeah, the
already into
noodles.
the zucchinis, and I was like, okay, Steph, just go on with the zucchini.
Yes, keep it going. It's funny. I got
Exactly.
cauliflower, cauliflower in my fridge next. I'm gonna make the faux cauliflower mashed potatoes, and I'm gonna steam the cauliflower, and then I'm put it in a food processor with like some chicken broth and a ton of butter, and season it up. And
Wow.
oh, it is so good because I got some grass-fed beef I'm eating it with, and some green beans and stuff. Oh, at some point.
Okay, so if that's your own recipe, email me that too. I might try that.
Okay, it's good. Okay.
All righty, so it was great talking to you, and we will follow up and see what's going on. In the meantime, you have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.